The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Saint John.
Glory to you, O Lord.
As Peter followed Jesus, he turned around and noticed that the disciple whom Jesus loved was following, the one who had leaned against Jesus' chest during the supper and said, "Lord, which one will hand you over?" Seeing him, Peter was prompted to ask Jesus, "But Lord, what about him? Suppose I want him to stay until I come." Jesus replied, "How does that concern you? Your business is to follow me." This is how the report spread among the brothers that this disciple was not going to die. Jesus never told him, as a matter of fact, that the disciple was not going to die. All he said was, "Suppose I want him to stay until I come. How does that concern you?" It is this same disciple who is the witness to these things. It is he who wrote them down, and his testimony we know is true. There are still many other things that Jesus did. Yet, if they were written about in detail, I doubt there would be room enough in the entire world to hold the books to record them. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
My dear children, my dear sisters, today, on the last day of the season of Easter, we have the last part of two books. First reading from the Acts of the Apostles, and the Gospel reading from the Gospel of St. John. St. Paul is taken as prisoner to the center of the Roman Empire, that is Rome. In today's reading, we are told that he spent 2 years there, teaching and preaching about Jesus Christ. Paul was called by God. "Why do you persecute me?" Jesus told him. Paul suffered for God. Paul was bold in bearing witness to Christ. And he went to Rome. After 2 years of hard work, he was killed by the sword. Paul is an example for us. What he said in the letter to Timothy, "I fought the good fight. I kept my faith. The crown of glory is waiting for me." We have to be like Paul in being passionate about our faith, holding on to Jesus, come what may. Paul said, "My grace is enough for you," God told me. Paul said, "I know whom I have believed." In this way, we should also trust the Lord and be ready to suffer for Him. Secondly, in today's Gospel, which is the continuation of yesterday, you might have heard yesterday Jesus asking Peter, "Do you love me more than all this?" You know, Peter denied Jesus 3 times. He might have been reminded of that. Lord told him, "Feed my lamb, feed my sheep, feed my sheep." And then the Lord also told him, "When you are young, you did whatever you wanted. When you are old, you cannot do what you want. When you are young, you can stretch out your hand. When you are old, your hands will be tied. You will die for me," Jesus said. You will glorify me through your death. Peter listened to all that. In today's gospel, he is asking about John, the beloved disciple, the disciple whom Jesus loved more. What will happen to him? Sometimes we are worried about others only. We don't study properly. We tell others, you are not studying properly. You are disturbing me. God has given us life, so many gifts. We should be answerable to God for all the gifts. Don't go on supervising what others are doing. What you should do is whether you are doing your duty properly. Englishman beautifully says, mind your own business. That's what Jesus today told Peter. You are asking about John, mind your own business. In other words, it is none of your business. Are you doing your duty properly? Are you studying properly? Are you doing your ministry properly? That is important. Don't take your eyes away from Jesus. Look at Jesus. Look at your heart. Make use of the God-given ability to grow in every way and glorify God, Jesus said. Of course, Peter was faithful. He was really a changed man. We know from the history, Peter did not want to be crucified like Jesus. He said, I am unworthy. Put my leg upward, head down. Crucify me, head downwards, because I am not worthy to die like my master, Peter said, it seems. He also gave his life in Rome, Peter and Paul. On June 29th, we will celebrate their feast, both the great apostle. Today we hear about also the beloved apostle John, He is called beloved. We are told he was sitting during the Last Supper near the chest of Jesus, very close. I was telling the people, if you love like John, if you love Jesus, you will sit where others do not sit. He was standing at the foot of the cross. If you love Jesus, you will stand where others do not stand. Others ran away. John, the beloved apostle, was standing near Jesus. When Mary Magdalene said, Jesus' tomb is empty, immediately he ran. If you love Jesus, you will run to find out Jesus. Seek Jesus. When they caught a lot of fish, recognize the Lord. So, if you love Jesus, you will recognize the Lord. Then he accepted Mary in his home. If you love Jesus, you will accept Mary, his mother. We will witness like Peter. We will witness like Paul. We will love like John. That is our occasion. May the Lord bless each and every one of you abundantly and fulfill your needs. Amen.